Hello everybody, it's Lori with DIY Nails, and for today's Mani Monday, I'm still keeping the Mani in the Winter family. Even though the holidays are over, I'm kind of thankful. I'm looking forward to a few Manis of not such bold and bright colors and excitement for the holidays and the new year, but I had these little white snowflakes and multicolored snowflakes. I even have them in gold, and I just kind of wanted a simple but fun, still wintry mani. So I went ahead and grabbed some foil flakes that I have on hand. These are just the little loose foil flakes, and I'm going to use the foil adhesive glue and apply it where I would like to put the foil flakes. And I didn't wait till this turned completely clear like I do with the actual foil ribbon, because I wanted to be able to move the flakes if necessary, but also give it a little bit of depth because I'm working with two different colors of flakes. So I simply painted where I wanted to apply the flakes, and that's basically it. Let's jump into it. Just in case you missed it in the beginning, I did dip my nails in Send Nudes. That's the base color here. So at this point, I have applied the foil glue where I want to place the flakes, and I just grab the provided applicator and pick up the little loose flakes and just kind of start placing them wherever. There was no rhyme or reason. I just kind of wanted to mix the two different colors. I feel like when you mix a couple different colors, it gives it a lot of depth in the mani. So I just grabbed the flakes and just started dabbing them wherever I wanted them. So I gave the foil flakes and the glue a few minutes to dry as I was just putting away my flakes. And all I'm doing here is just making sure that the glue is completely dried, and I'm just patting down any of the flakes that were sticking up so that they had the opportunity to stick to the glue. And then I just brushed off any of the excess flakes because I am going to clear coat this at the end of the mani. So I didn't want anything hanging off of the edge of the nails or sticking up. So I was so excited to use those multicolored snowflakes, but they don't show up very well on the foil. The foil gets all the attention, so I went ahead and switched over to the white snowflakes that I had purchased. And at this point, I'm just deciding how I'm going to apply them, and I figured that nail glue was the best and quickest way to get them applied. So I'm using nail glue to adhere the little metal snowflakes. And because they are metal, you are going to have to clear coat, either float around them and create a clear coat, because they will just pop right back off because they do have edges on them. So I do end up clear coating at the very end of this mani. But here I am just simply applying the little snowflakes. There's no rhyme or reason, not a pattern, just decided to start applying them. I thought one didn't look like enough, and then I thought two didn't look even, so I ended up putting 3 snowflakes on each nail, and I chose a different pattern for each nail. And here you see me push down on the snowflake with the back end of the tweezers, and what I'm doing is some of the snowflakes have a couple of the little edges that are bent up, so all I'm doing is just pushing them back down and then also kind of molding it a little bit to my nail so that when I go to clear coat it, it's not sticking out through the clear coat and I don't need to do a whole bunch of clear coat layers. I just will need one or two to just lightly cover everything so it stays in perfect condition. And I didn't edit this out because, of course, no mani can go on perfectly. And for whatever reason, I was having trouble right there on the edge of my nail. It just, those little snowflakes didn't want to stick. So I ended up having to try a couple times, but it ended up turning out great. This hand took me less than 30 minutes. So I am very pleased with how it turned out, even when the little snowflakes decided they didn't want to stick. So here I'm applying the base coat for the clear dip powder, and if you watch, I'm being very cautious about how I apply the base coat. I actually was floating a little bit of a thicker layer around the little snowflakes and then putting a very light coat on top of the snowflakes so that the evenness of that base after pouring over the clear dip powder was completely across the entire nail, because if I didn't float a little thicker of a layer, I would have had to go back in and create a second layer of clear dip, and I didn't want to do that. And also I didn't dip because I didn't want any of that base coat to shift when I dipped into it, and I also didn't want any of the snowflakes to by chance come off or the foil flakes to get into my clear dip powder. So I chose to just pour over the clear dip. And I also let it sit, and then I went back and just lightly tapped it down before tapping it off and brushing it off. So here you see me applying the activator, and I do end up filing my edges. I want very clean and neat edges for this mani. So I wait for the activator to completely dry. It takes a couple minutes, and then I just go in and lightly shape and then round off anything that's bumpy or lumpy on the top, and that's it. Brush all the particles off. Go in with another just very thin light coat of activator. Make sure you cap your edges when you apply this coat of activator. Wait a few more minutes, and then we're going to go in and apply the top coat. So that's it. I absolutely fell in love with this mani. It's definitely something different than I've ever done before, and I definitely used quite a few different things, the little blings, the foils. There's a lot of textures going on, which I love. So after that top coat completely dried, I went in and applied my cuticle oil, and that's it. Looking forward to doing my right hand and maybe having a matching set for a little while. So thank you guys for watching. If you have any tips or tricks, I'd love to hear from you. Any comments or suggestions for future manis, I'm up for that as well. I hope that everybody has a great week. I hope that 2021 brings us all great things, and I will see you next week. Bye, guys.